All right, so for those of you who may not have had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman, he is senior advisor at the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. And he's worked on field projects in Europe and Africa, environmental communication, policy, development, and intergovernmental processes with BirdLife International, the European Commission, and the Tour de Valais Research Institute for Mediterranean Wetlands, which I believe is what Andre mentioned, among. So, Tobias, what else can I say? The floor is yours.
Good morning to everybody, and I'm happy to be able to have been invited to moderate this first session. I will give you a brief introduction with 3 slides. Here they are already. And then I will call our pictures up on the scene here. I think Andre Hoffmann mentioned already the wetlands and the importance of wetlands, because water, obviously, everybody of us is composed of about 70% of water. Water is life, and there's no life without water. That's the big question on Mars. But water is not only not free, but it comes to our tap through wetlands, through that infrastructure which is so important to make the hydrological cycle running. And maybe the first thing, I'm not sure if you can read the comics here, but you can look at wetlands also as the water bank. When you have a lot of water, you put it in a bank. So wetlands can store water for drought season, and they do a lot of other things. They obviously also purify it. They have also cultural, historical values or so. So maybe the second slide, those wetland landscapes, if you can move to the second slide. Okay, here we are. The good news here is that this is not very new, this understanding, because already 50 years ago, back in 71, the countries have started to understand this. And there were first 18 nations who signed a treaty, the Convention on Wetlands. They went for signing this to a town at a seaside resort in the Caspian, a town called Ramsar. Therefore, the convention is known colloquially as the Ramsar Convention. So they are engaging themselves in doing mainly 3 things, using that infrastructure, those landscapes, those ecosystems, related to water in a wise sense, in the sustainable use, wise use of wetlands was created, the term, in the 60s, 1960s. They are obliged to maintain iconic places. We have mentioned, Andre has mentioned the Rhone River. It's a river catchment approach. So you have 3 examples here. It starts at the glacier, as long as it still is a glacier. Afterwards, we will probably have some problems for irrigation. Where there is one Ramsar site, you have in the middle another picture which shows you on the other side of the lake, the Plateau de Gavot, where the rain infiltrates peatlands and grazing areas and becomes eventually, after 27 years or so, the Evian mineral water, which is a very good quality water for the inhabitants, but also obviously a business opportunity. And it goes down, as was mentioned, to the Camargue, the delta where the River Rhone flows into the Mediterranean. It has also a few other sites. I just mentioned another one. The whole Lake Geneva could be such called Ramsar site. It's not yet the case, but Geneva and the downstream to the French border is a Ramsar site, or the whole of Lake Bourget. So just to tell you, the countries have agreed on those principles. Now it's up to each of us, the actors, the business actors, the entrepreneurs also, to do most out of it. And the last slide, please. So there are a lot of wetland-based or nature-based solutions for different stakeholder needs, and we want to explore those opportunities during today, but keeping in mind that wetland infrastructure behind the opportunities is important, and we have to maintain it, we have to monitor it, we have to restore it, and we have to make a sustainable use out of it, but not a destructive or short-term use only. So there are multiple benefits. We are looking for it, and we are looking for integrated solutions. And after all, a few weeks ago, the decade on restoration of ecosystems started under the UN level, so that's probably a good moment also to focus on this. So after this introduction, I'm happy to invite our 4 pitchers who are in the room, and we are starting with the 5th one, who will be joining us online. The first one is Michael van Kutzen from Biodiversity. So the other four, please come up. I will go down. You can have a stand or sit behind each of those four tables. But we will start with the fifth one, who I hope will be online. And so I am inviting Michael van Kutzen to start as soon as the other four are installed here. I'm going down. And I will... Michael, the floor is yours. Michael, do you hear me? Okay, we don't. Do we have his sound in the room? Next speaker maybe, and okay, so maybe we'll start with the next one. This would be David Nussbaumer from Efficiency. Please, David, you start then.
Do you hear me?